Hey guys, Crystal here at Crystal's Crafties. In today's tutorial, we are going to be making some custom basketball themed designs. If I hop over here to Etsy, I just typed in basketball mascot PNG, and you can see these have these popular now bestseller badges. It is basketball season. People are wanting these custom basketball shirts. Basketball moms are getting t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies. This is going right now, so I want to show you a few different ways that you can make your own. I did create a couple Canva templates, and that's what I'm going to show you. You can absolutely create these 100% from scratch on your own, but if you don't want to, I have got this Canva Frame template. It comes in a few different sections because there's just a lot to it. And then I've got this one. It's all kind of together in one section. Most every part of both of these designs is a frame. And that's what I'm going to show you how to use. When we get to the end, there is no way currently in Canva to distort the text like this. Once we are done with this design, the pennant you're going to get in Canva is just blank. But once I've got it all done here in Canva, I will show you how to hop that out into Affinity, and in just a couple clicks, you'll be able to get your word onto your pennant to look just like that. Okay, so let's start with this first design. So here we have got this solid circle, which you can turn any color you want. And then we have this distressed inner circle, and we can fill it with a pattern. Let's go for this black and white if it'll let me put it in. No, a lot of the black and whites don't let you put them in. Let's see. Let's try this one. That one let me do it. Okay. What you cannot do is get rid of the distressed feel on this part of the pattern. If you do not like that feel, come in here, get yourself a circle, and make it whatever color you want it to be. Let's say you want it to be black, and just put it behind the distressed pattern. Or you can also just come and get a circle frame like this one. Delete mine altogether. I'm not going to delete it because I want it back in a minute, and just fill that with the pattern that you want. If you did not like the distressed feel, those are two different options you could have for that. Okay, so I'm going to put the black and white checkers back in here. I'm actually going to turn this back to black, and we are going to move on to the next part of the design. This bow is just a Canva element. I thought it went really, really well on this design, but if you don't like this bow, go pick a different one. This one I liked because you could change this color. It's a true color change. You can make it whatever color you want it to be. Some of them, when you change the color, it makes it a little distorted and not quite what you were going for. I'm actually going to make it purple, I think. Let's do a black and purple design. But not that purple. Let's see. Let's darken that up a little bit. Is that good? Yep, that's going to work. Okay. So then next we are going to work on the hoop and the basketball. The hoop, you can change these colors. You can change the color of the rim. Let's put it purple. You can change the color of the net. I'm actually going to put that purple as well. And you can change the outline color if you want, like if you wanted it to be gray or something, you could do that. I'm just going to leave that like it is. Actually, I'm going to change the hoop back to orange and leave the net purple. I think that's going to go good. So let me put this guy on here. And I'm going to position him behind that bow a little bit. Awesome. Okay, the basketball. You can just fill it with a solid color. You first need to ungroup it. Move this layer off. You cannot access the frame until you have moved the outline layer off. You can change the outline layer. It's black, but you can make it whatever you want. You can come up here and you can click this and make it orange for a standard basketball, or you can come up here and get, let me come back into photos. Actually, I put basketball pattern. You can actually fill it with like a basketball type feel. That one's not really attractive. That one is better. And then when you put the ball over it, it looks a little more like a basketball. So whatever you want to do there, I'm just going to go back and turn it orange. I'm going to put my border back on top, group those back together, move my ball up. That needs to go back behind the bow as well. Okay. Now let's move on. I'm going to delete this page. I don't need it anymore. All of these stars, okay, they are in a group because there's a lot of sections to each of these. This is the outline layer. This is your frame. I'm first going to fill the frame. I'm going to use that same checkered background. And then for this frame, you can change the color of the middle star. This, there is no color. Let me, there is no color here on the outside. That's just the frame that goes over your pattern that you're putting in. But this inner star, we can change the color. Okay, so this will be star number 1. And then I do want to group that star back together. And let's see here. Let's make this one orange. And let's just make that star purple. I didn't need to click that. I was already in the colors. Okay. So you can do whatever you want here with these stars. You can fill the background with a pattern, or you can fill it with a solid color. Completely up to you. Okay, once you have your stars all filled up, you can kind of just place them wherever you want them on your design. They were in a good pattern that would have worked well for this design. So if you want to keep them where they are and just group them back together after you've filled them up, you can keep that same placement and just put it back in your design. I'm not being super particular with where I'm putting these. I'm just trying to get them in the design. Okay, so there's your stars. We can delete this page. And now we have the pennant and the game day. Again, they are grouped together with outlines. Ungroup. This is not working with me today. Move your outline off, and then, oh, there's 2. Wait, bonus. That was a mistake on my end. Your outline, you can turn whatever color you want. You can see your color box up there. Again, I'm going to leave it black. And for this, you can fill it with a pattern if you want to come grab, you know, your basketball. Get in there. Why isn't it flowing? Your basketball pattern. I do want to point out again that game day is distressed. If I blow this up, you can see the distressed cuts in the game day. That does not go away. That's there to stay. I don't have a workaround. Guys, Canva is not working with me today. This can go back to white. This, I was trying to turn orange. I don't have a workaround for you on how to get that distressed look out of there if you don't like it. My only workaround would be type your own letters in whatever font you want. Okay, so we'll put that back on there. Game day is done. Group that together. Now for our flag. Ungroup. Pull off the outline. You can change its color. And we can fill some of this with a pattern, and we can make some of it a solid color. Okay. Get back on there. I might need to use the arrows on my keyboard to push that where it needs to go. Well, what's going on here? Oh, there we go. Okay. Group all that together. I'm going to select both of these and just move them up to my design. Okay. So there's game day. There is the pennant. Again, at the very end of this, I'll show you how to get your word on that pennant exactly how you want it, like I have it here. Okay, so that's option 1. Option 2 is this one here. Let's add a new page. For this one, the net on the basketball goal, let me blow this up, is actually a frame as well. If I ungroup this, you can put any kind of texture you want into this net. The net is one frame. Part of this hoop is a frame, and then this is a solid that you can change any color you want. So let's get some glitter. Orange glitter. I'll throw that into the hoop. Yes, go in. Awesome. Let's do, I don't know, I'm just gonna throw a different one in here. This probably isn't going to be the best looking thing, but I just want to show you that you can fill the sections of this net with patterns as well. Okay, so there's that. You would line that up a little better than I did. Okay, let's work on basketball. There are 2 sets of frames here. This is a thick, chunkier frame. I'm going to fill it up with a black glitter. Okay, this, I need to ungroup it and pull this off. Let me make that white actually so we can see it on our black glitter. That's just an outline. You can turn it to whatever color you want. And then for this basketball, each letter is a separate frame, so you can make it multicolored if you want. We can come in here and we can start doing this. Oops. Or we can come in with glitter. Let's do purple. Okay, and let me go back to that orange glitter that I had. And you can fill those up with whatever you want as well. So I'm just gonna group all that together, put it back up here. Okay, and then each of these little things can be filled with an image or a pattern as well. I'm just going to get them filled up. Come down here, go into this. All right, because these are in the way. There we go. There. And let's do, this is not the best looking design, y'all, but I'm just trying to be quick for the tutorial. Okay, so then you would come and take your basketball hoop and you would put it back here. If you're not a fan of the hoop, guys, you don't have to use it. You can come over here, you can type in basketball, hop over to graphics, and you can find, I mean, you could put that in there if you wanted. You could put just a basketball. You could put something like this, and you could spin it. You know, I've done a bunch of different things that you could do if you didn't like the actual hoop that's in the template. Okay, and then for the words, you can type in whatever you want here in Canva. This font, let's see, let me get a T. What did we say, Wildcats? That is so, so small. Okay, let's put that here. And that font is, I believe, Yellowtail, yes. So that is a font that works really, really good with these basketball themed designs. So if you want to use that one, that is Yellowtail. And then for the 2026, I just came in here and I typed varsity. And scrolled down until I found something that looked like a good varsity font. That's just the 20. And we can make that 26. Then you could change those to whatever colors you wanted. You could come in here. If you wanted to, you could add the outlines around them. Whatever it is you want to do at that point. Okay, so now let's work on this pennant. I'm gonna add a page here. I'm gonna pull just this pennant down. I'm gonna change up this pattern. I'm just not super happy with it. Let me do like a dots background. Let's see. Let's try this one. Oh, it won't flow into there because it doesn't have a white. Let's try this one. Oh, these make me so mad when they look, goodness gracious, they look like they're black and white, but they're transparent. They have no background, so they don't flow into the frame. That one will. Okay. Perfect. That's better. I wonder though, is there any way to change the color of those dots? No, they're just that light. Okay, no worries. I'm going to leave that purple. I will put this back on top of here. All right. So I'm going to take this pennant now. Let me decrease the size. I'm going to leave it the same size that it is so that it can keep its proportions when we go into Affinity and then back over here into Canva. But what you want to do is take your blank pennant and just download it. So we're only going to download page 3. and we want to make sure it has a transparent background. And then you want to open your Affinity. If you don't have Affinity, it is free. It is now owned by Canva, so you do need a Canva account to use Affinity. And I will link another video that's going to show you how to get it all set up. Okay, so I just have a blank document over here in Affinity now. It is 3000 by 3000 pixels, which is the same size as our as all of my templates or all of my Canva frame designs are in Canva. They're all 3000 by 3000 pixels. So you want to make sure you get over here into this vector persona, and we're going to go pull in that pennant that we just downloaded. So we're going to come to this tool right here. This is the place tool. If you don't see it, you can also come to File and Place and go find that pennant that we just downloaded. And what you want to do here is when you get that little blue arrow, let me do that again just so that you can see it. When you get this little blue arrow, you click your mouse and just drag, and it will put your image in there. And if you just make it the same size as your artboard here, it's going to match exactly what we have in Canva. Okay, now we just want to come and get some text. So I'm going to click on my artistic text tool here. And then I'll click on my keyboard, and again, it's tiny. But I've typed in the word wildcats. Just going to expand that out. Let's change the font. I've selected my whole word. I'm going to come up here to my font, and I am going to put it in this font called Quarantine and Chill. I love that font for this type of design. I got it from Creative Fabrica. I will link to that. Affinity does not have its own fonts. You have to have fonts installed on your computer, and then Affinity will pull those fonts in for you. Okay, so what you do here, I'm still in my text tool. As you can see, I'm moving my mouse around. It's got that A. I need to come back up here into my selector tool so I can select my text. And don't rotate it or anything like that. You just size it to fit within your frame, within your pennant. Okay, now with your word selected, I want you to come up here to Vector, New Warp Group, and for this one we're just going to use a quad. So hit this quad, and now you see these 4 little dots come up on your word. And you're just going to drag the dots into the positions of your pennant. Just like that. And now the word wildcats flows perfectly into the pennant. You can get back into my pencil tool here, or my selector tool. If you do that, if you click out of it after you've warped it, it's going to have the selector be this box. That's fine. This is the word. It's selected. If I want to change its color to red, that's fine. If I want to change its color to orange, I can do that. Anytime I click it, it's going to have this little box, but it's still the word that we're working on. I'm just going to leave it. I'm actually going to give it a little bit of an outline. This is my outline layer, my stroke layer. I'm going to turn that on and turn it black. I've come over here to the stroke setting. I'm going to make it just a little bit thicker. That's probably good. Oh, Control Z. Okay. And so now I am going to export this back into Canva. So what we want to do is File, Export, and Export. There is a setting that goes directly to Canva. It puts it in its own Canva folder. I don't like to do that, so I'm just going to leave it this way. We do want to export the entire artboard. It'll give you some sections right here. It can put whole document, selection, entire artboard. Keep it just like that so that it becomes the same size in Canva that it was when we started. And just hit export, and you can name this, whoops. Okay, let me stick that on my desktop. Okay, and then we are going to go back into Canva, and we will come and upload perfect. It did make it, oh, it didn't make it smaller. I just need to size it to the page. And you see that is perfectly overlaid on what we just had. So we can take it up here, put it in our new design. I'm going to crop this out. And then you can move that up or down however you want. But there you go. So you've used the frame to create your own custom design here that you can sell for DTF transfers. You can sell on POD sites. You can print them up yourself at home. You've got two different ways that you can make custom basketball t-shirt. My goodness, I can't speak. Custom basketball t-shirt designs for whatever you want to use them for. That's all I've got for you guys. We'll see you next time.